Folks. This is the final reading for January 2025, courtesy of Rev Kelly Robbins. So let's get on with it, and then I can give you my 10 cents worth. He's called this "World is Upside Down." The first quote is from the famous, I think famous, Persian poet of Middle Ages, Rumi, one of several great Persian poets, but two in particular. But Rumi, if you've never looked up Rumi, look him up. Rumi. He was a Muslim, but he was of the mystical sect, Islam, the Sufis. And rumor has it that he's the one who started the whirling dervish thing. Is it true or not? Nobody knows. But supposedly, when his best friend died, he was so moved and in so much, I guess, mental anguish that he started whirling around and around, and supposedly that started the dervish thing. I'm sure you know what dervishes are. If not, look it up. Dervish. And anyway, look it up. It's interesting. Your task is not to seek love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within you that you have built against it. In other words, you are a natural vessel for love to flow through. And if it's not flowing through you, then look for the barriers inside of you. So your foundation, your very essence is love. Our very essence is love. And we built these barriers against it so it doesn't flow through. Kind of like dams that are really in the way of love flowing through. Ernest Holmes says something a little bit different. He says, we should work, but not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not by coercion, but with conviction, not through compulsion, but in a state of conscious recognition and receptivity. That's from the Science of Mind textbook, pretty much towards the beginning, page 58. Believe me, it's a tome. So page 58 is really early on in the whole thing. In other words, we should work mindfully. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning. Today is a day to try things outside the norm. Today is National Backwards Day. It's always national something, and usually more than one. I never heard of this before. If you had a National Backwards Day, I would have thought it should have been December 31st, but here we are. We can use this day as an opportunity to look at our actions, see what results we would like to change, and try reversing them. As I said, I think December 31st would have been a more appropriate day for it. Does seeing our world backward allow us to see life differently? Rev Kelly says, when I struggle with something, I often ask how to turn it around. And truthfully, I don't always get an answer. However, new questions usually arise when I look at the problem differently and see the situation through a different lens. Different opportunities present themselves. As I was writing these daily guides and wrestling with what to share, I moved my starting point to the middle of the month rather than beginning at the beginning. Silly as it seems, doing things my way instead of how I'm supposed to do them frees me. It allows me to see my project differently and to move forward. There's a Zen saying, the world is upside down. Suggests that how we've been looking at the world is the opposite of how it really is. Maybe. The meaning here is more spiritual than doing our day backward. We should focus on love, gratitude, beauty, joy, and compassion. Instead of wealth, status, accumulating things, and having the right relationships and lifestyle. You like the should out of it. I agree with it. How about saying, let's focus on love, gratitude, beauty, joy, and compassion instead of wealth, status, accumulating things, and having the right relationship and lifestyle. I don't know if I 100% agree with all of that. Yes, love, gratitude, beauty, joy, compassion, fine. But right relationships are also good. Lifestyle is also good. Turning our focus away from wealth, status, and accumulating things. Yep, I entirely agree with that. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but putting it first is backwards of what it should be. It should be a result of things moving forward. Where in your world are you upside down? What would it look like to turn it right side up? Is there one thing you can do today to begin that process? Apart from yawning, I would think, yeah, I can actually look at Barbara more when she's talking to me so that she absolutely knows she has my attention. The other thing that she could do in return is to see if I'm actually busy doing something before she starts talking to me out of the blue. So there's something we can each do differently there, which would actually help. We have a good relationship. You can always make them better, right? Have I always seen the world the way I see it now? No. Have you always seen the world you see it right now? No, of course not. But I think it's good to strive to to focus on love, gratitude, beauty, and compassion. I think it's also good to focus on having relationships that are true and open and good. Back to the question: Where's your world? Where in your world are you upside down? In other words, what things could you do differently that would actually improve things for you and for the world in general? So I'm grateful to Reverend Kelly because I've not always agreed with her on everything she said, but at the very least, she's given me food for thought, and she's come up with a lot of stuff that I think is genuine and it's good, and it helps us to really look at things somewhat differently. And let's face it, if we agree with everything in these readings and we said, oh, yeah, I know that, I do that, there'd be no point in looking at them, right? There'd be no point in reading them or listening to them. So these are the things that sometimes shake our complacency, and in doing so, help us to become better at advancing in our spiritual direction, also helping the world to be a better place. Because actually, on the next page, to the very final reading for this month, CSL itself has got it's kind of an ad in a way, about finding a center or receiving. You can actually go. We have a World Ministry of Prayer. You can go to csl.org/world and then just search for World Ministry of Prayer and it will come up. You can get a practitioner there. You can request a prayer. Um, you can take online classes, but you can also take them through Creative Life Spiritual Center. And since I'm part of Creative Life Spiritual Center in the first place, and the other one is a higher broader group, we're starting to offer really interesting classes. And we're going to concentrate more and more on that. We're not trying to take them away from anybody else, but we are going to increase our offerings as to what we do. And I said, the next one I have coming up is this Trance of Scarcity, which starts on the second Tuesday in February, and it will be from 7 till 9 Central Time. There's only one requirement is to pay a fee, which is $85, which is not bad for a 6-week class. And also to buy the book, The Trance of Scarcity, because Victoria Castle, the author, has got a lot of good stuff in there. And we are studying it. We're also going to do some meditations. And we'll also have time to break into groups and to look at these things and do some exercises, which will help us to move forward. So that's my plug for my class. And I will shamelessly plug it on and off for the rest of the time until it actually happens on the second Tuesday in February. So that's really all I've got for today, except to say, what is science of mind, religious science? This is what Center for Spiritual Living says. We honor all people, faiths, paths, and religions. Our sacred focus is creating a world that works for everyone. And that's it. And the affirmation that Reverend Kelly has left us with, at least for this time around, I'm open. I choose to see the truth of my struggles and turn my world right side up. I'm open. I choose to see the truth of my struggles and turn my world right side up. Or I would say, I turn up that part of my world that needs turning right side up because I don't think all of it does. I don't, you know. Every single one of us is doing something right, and every single one of us has got an area or areas where we can actually improve and turn things the right way around. So change our focus, in other words. If you want to look at it that way, I choose to change my focus and concentrate on what really matters to me and others. So take your pick. I will be back tomorrow around about 5. Reverend Lisa will be back tomorrow about 9:15-ish, it being Saturday. And miss any of these, and you can find them on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Prosperity Lemons Facebook page, Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page, my YouTube page, usually my LinkedIn page. It doesn't always go through to there, but often on my LinkedIn page, on Instagram, when I put it on there, it's supposed to go, it doesn't always go there. And now Mastodon, which is another social media thing, Threads. I'm attempting to post on all of these things so I can get this word out. Not because I want to aggrandize myself. No, I want people to share these teachings because I think they're worth it. And please do the same. Give us a like, yes, but as I said, please share them with other people. The ones you like, especially, say, "Oh, that I heard this really good reading today, and it's got these really good points in it. Why don't you go look at it?" Help spread the world and make the world a better place. Until next time, take care of yourselves and namaste.